In Creo Parametric, you can use multi-body modeling for construction and subtraction. Let's take a look at that. Here I have a part model. I've already got a sketch inside of here. I can take this sketch and then choose Extrude from the mini toolbar. Let me right click over the depth drag handle to change this to symmetric. Maybe I want this value to be 12 instead. That's good. Let's hit the check mark. So right now I'm just doing some standard part modeling. Let me throw some fillets in here. I tapped the right mouse button when I hovered over the edge in order to get the intent edges, the edges associated with the feature, and I can choose to put in some rounds from the mini toolbar. I will take that value that they are suggesting. So right now all I've done is created some part geometry. Now I want to use another part for modifying this part. Let me hop over to my other window. I want to have this particular component mounted on that part in a certain way, and I want to subtract geometry so it fits in there exactly. Let's take a look at how to do that. Let's go back to the other part window over here. To bring in that geometry, I will use the merge inheritance command. I'll click on that. And then for the model that I want to use, let me just grab that part from in session. Here we have the component placement dialog box for locating it. Let me click on the eyeglasses icon so I can see a preview of where it's going to wind up. For the first constraint, let me select this surface over here and that surface over there to make them coincident. The next constraint, let me choose this datum plane. Come here. And this datum plane from the part. Let me choose the flip button. That's good. And for the last constraint, let's do a distance constraint from this surface to this surface over here. Right now it's giving me constraints invalid. Let's try flipping. It's giving me a distance of 0. Let's try value of 4. Let me try -4. There we go. I like the positioning of the component. Let's hit the check mark out of the component placement dialog box. And when I take a look up over here, oops, let me turn on my highlighter. When I take a look up here, now in Creo Parametric 7.0, you have 4 different choices for what you want to do with this geometry. You can add bodies, you can add material, you can remove material, or you can intersect material. In this particular case, right now we are choosing to add bodies. I can choose to add material instead. Now the body options tab becomes available. Instead of adding it to body 1, I can choose to create a new body, and there you can see where it is going to name it in there. That will be its own separate body. Let's go to the properties tab. I always like to change the name of the feature to reflect what it is. Now we can hit the check mark. If you take a look in the model now, it brought in the geometry in there. We have body 2 over here, and it's automatically set as the default body. So any new solid geometry would get added to body 2 instead. If I don't want to do that, I can select body 1 and then use the set as default body icon from the mini toolbar. Furthermore, I want to use that merge geometry as construction geometry. So instead, I can select body 2 and then right mouse click and set as construction. That way, this geometry that was brought in won't contribute to the mass properties and also won't be considered as a body if I was to do a drawing and create one of those body tables. Also won't be used in any interference checks. And now that I have that as construction geometry, I could make other features around this using that different geometry as a reference. And also, I can perform Boolean operations with that body. Now again, I could have subtracted when I created the merge inheritance feature, but I just added it as a separate body in case I wanted to create new features around this particular one. Before I move on, let's turn off our datum plane display. If I actually want to subtract that construction geometry, I can go to the Boolean Operations command. For the body to modify, I'll choose body 1. And right now it's choosing to merge. I can change that to subtract. And for the modifying body, I can choose body 2 over here. You can see a preview of the geometry that's going to be created. Here's the option to keep the bodies. Now let's say that I do want to do that. Let me choose to keep the bodies. Then I can hit the check mark out of here. And so it's performed the subtraction. I can still see body 2, but I can just hide that. Now I can see how it's made this nice little cut inside of here the way that I want it to be created. Might need to trim off a little other geometry in here. Looks like I've got an extraneous body over here. Hey, no problem. We can go to flexible modeling, select this over here, and use the boss shape surface selection tool. And then after that, I can choose to remove this geometry over here, hit the check mark. Oh, looks like I had another one over here. Let's repeat that process. Use the boss selection tool, and then just choose remove from the mini toolbar. So in that way, I'm using that imported geometry to remove stuff. And again, it's just hidden right now. I can always bring it back, make it visible. It is construction geometry, so I can use this for designing other features around it. So there you see a bunch of different techniques for multi-body modeling, including merge inheritance into a new body, and then doing some Boolean operations, and then incorporating some flexible modeling. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindshield.com. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.